What's up, everybody? Tonight we're going to talk about David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde and more when we come right back. Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean. And tonight, like always, we're going to jump right into this boxing talk. And shortly after I do my intro and let y'all know what's going on, I know a few of you inquired about maybe coming on the show, so we can get that going early tonight. So let's start off with Anthony Yarde versus David Benavidez. 175-pound division light heavyweight battle. It pretty much went like I thought it may go. I didn't see it going a full 12 rounds. I felt like if Anthony Yarde couldn't do enough in the first 5 rounds, it was going to be a wrap if he couldn't stop or really phase or hurt David Benavidez. And he couldn't do enough to make David Benavidez be cautious enough to kind of like second guess. And David Benavidez wasn't even overzealous in this fight. He didn't really just go all out crazy every round. He kind of just paced himself. He kept walking down Anthony Yarde from round one through the mid rounds and eventually end up stopping him. And when he hurt him the first time and dropped him, I was thinking to myself, like, they're going to have to stop this fight pretty soon. And hopefully the corner of Anthony Yarde is ready to throw in the towel soon, because there's no need for him to be just taking unnecessary punishment. David Benavidez, I like the fact that he can also pace himself, but he can also be pressure and aggressive, where it's kind of like a as the fight goes on, he can turn up. He can really turn up when you're coming down on a decline because your energy drained or whatever. He'll get that second win. He'll start to kick up. And once he starts to turn all the way up, it's hard to get him to stop. You know what I'm saying? You have to either you're gonna get knocked out or you're gonna get a stoppage. You know what I'm saying? Like the referee stepped in eventually and had to wave that off. So that was the right call. Anthony Yarde is a warrior, but as we can see, he just is good. But when he gets to certain level of opposition, he can't get over that hump. Anthony Yarde, he fought Beterbiev, Kovalev, of course, Benavidez this weekend. He just cannot get over that certain level of opposition. He comes to fight. He's tough, but there's a lot of things he lacks defensive-wise, conditioning-wise. I think some of the muscle mass is definitely a big part of what kind of hinders his performance. And I don't know where he's going to go from here. He's been boxing for quite a while. So will he retire, or will he do a retirement fight? Maybe one more bag, fight somebody who's not on the level of a Benavidez, and get one more fight and then go off in the sunset? Or does he just retire right now? I don't know what Anthony Yarde will choose to do, but we will see. And if you're on in this chat, definitely hit that thumbs up, y'all. Hit the thumbs up for sure. I appreciate everybody. What's going on? Dea Scobie? You said Yarde is going to have to retire. That's what I was thinking. That's what I'm thinking, man. Connor Rogers. Yes, bro. Tune in. Thanks for coming through. Dez, you said, I really don't like calling any fighter done, but at this point, he should retire and transition to behind the mic. Well, see, and that's what I was saying too. You make a good point. I was saying that in my last episode, and I think a episode prior to that is like, just because you're a boxer and you can't box anymore, maybe you're retired because your best days are behind you. That don't mean you can't be a commentator. You know, he could be a Sky Sports or the Zone commentator. You know, he could be a trainer or something. I don't know if that's his lane or if he would be a good trainer, but he can give it a try. Um, there's just different things you can do, still be associated with boxing without actually being a fighter in the ring. So hopefully he'll be a commentator, man, because he seemed like he got a cool personality, a good demeanor about himself, like he's a real down to earth guy. So shout outs to Anthony Yardy, but also shout outs to David Benavidez, aka the Mexican Monster, for a stoppage win, and he's definitely on a warpath. It seems that he wants to get everybody at the top. So hopefully, time's not on the side of Beterbiev. He's getting up in age, so hopefully he can get Beterbiev versus Benavidez first, and then get Benavidez versus Bivol. But we're kind of in the pickle where it may be Zerto instead. He might be fighting at cruiserweight. Because my understanding, when I seen an interview, David Benavidez said paperwork was already signed that he was going to be fighting, I believe it was Zerto, next year. So we will see what's going to go down, And I want to know y'all opinion. Do you feel that David Benavidez, that certain fighters are ducking him, or if you don't want to use the term ducking him, are they trying to maneuver around him? Do you feel like David Benavidez is that boogeyman at 175? Let me know what y'all think. Des Scobie, you said Zerto fight is already in final deal. Cinco de Mayo weekend. Okay, so that's locked in, man. Well, there it is, man. It's all good because it'll just allow David Benavidez to prove his greatness. Just keep doing what he do. Basically just keep winning. Keep winning. And if you can get the stoppage like you've been getting these stoppages, keep doing that to show you that guy. Connor Roger, you said, I feel sorry for Yardy, man. Always came up short, but felt like he really had the potential. Maybe he should look to other role in the sport, whatever is best for him. Absolutely. I mean, look at Lennox Lewis. Not comparing their records or resumes. Lennox Lewis is a whole different level. But Lennox Lewis, he started being a commentator for PBC. You know what I'm saying? Roy Jones, he does commentating sometimes. The late, great George Foreman, he was a commentator in boxing after he retired after his second comeback, So sometimes you just got to find your position affiliated with boxing, but not actually being a boxer. Connors, Roger, you said, I want to see Benavidez versus Bivol. It's only right. Absolutely. It's only right, man. So if that injury is all good with Bivol, we definitely need to see these two guys get in there because the style matchup is going to be insane. The pressure fighter, Benavidez, who can brawl, he can bang. But then you got Bivol, who's just very slick and light on his feet. Good defensive. It's going to be good, man. It's going to be a good matchup. Des Scobie, you said Bivol recovering from a back surgery. Okay, so I don't know how long a back surgery takes for you to the healing process. I don't know the timeline. So as of right now, I guess it will be Zerto. And then from that point, I don't know if he's gonna go to cruiserweight and come right back down to 175, or if he can beat Zerto convincingly. Do you think he would want to step in there and try to fight Ja Apataya, or is Ja Apataya too much for? Would Ja Apataya prove to be too much for David Benavidez? You said David said he was waiting around. You said David said he's not waiting around for anyone, only fighting who wants to fight him right now. No more Canelo situations. Absolutely. Don't want to sit around wasting his time if it's not going to be locked in, and if people are playing games. I get it. Just keep it moving, man. Keep the show rolling. One thing about boxing, if this fighter doesn't want to fight you, if you can't fight fighter A, then try B or C. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you stay consistent and you stay from getting ring rust and stay busy. You know, as long as David Benavidez is busy, that's the main thing. And this live tonight won't be a very, very long live. But is anybody trying to get on here tonight? Let me know in the chat. If you're trying to come on here, we can get you a line. Dead Scobie, are you trying to come on? If Mike Ware is out there, if you are, let me know if you're going to come on. Now the other fight on that card, the Devin Haney versus. Okay, you said you're ready. Okay. Can we drop that line for him? And then Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. Before the fight happened, I saw it as a 50-50 fight. I know Devin Haney said multiple times in all the interviews he was levels above B. Norm Jr. In my mind, I'm like, okay, maybe so, but you know, any fighter that talks like that, and I'm not saying he went as far as Muhammad Ali did back in his time, but Muhammad Ali was always saying what he could do and he would back it up. Well, on this time around, Devin Haney did back up his words. He did show he was levels better, because what I saw as being a 50-50 fight, he did it pretty comfortably. The issue I saw was the timing, the footwork. Although Brian Norman Jr. is not a plotter, the footwork of Devin Haney was that much better. The lateral movements, the defense, he was watching out for that left hand too. So he wasn't letting Brian Norman Jr. get that left off so easy. He was very alert. I saw that with Devin Haney, and he even dropped Brian Norman in the second round when he hurt him with the left, and then did the combination, the left right, that right straight down the middle, and he put Brian Norman Jr. down in round 2. So definitely was a fight to where you got to give Devin Haney his props. He's not the most exciting fighter in some people's eyes or whatever when it comes to Devin Haney, but for those who are just like, hey, I like fighters regardless of their style. I like scientific fighters. With Devin Haney, it's not always the most eventful because he's not really a brawler. But I mean, hey, he did what he had to do. He did what he had to do last night. He got the dub. So salute to Devin Haney for his victory last night. And at the same time, to Brian Norman Jr., you're still young, so it ain't over. You're young. I think they say he's like 24, I believe, age 24. So you still got a lot of time. I just think that he needs, in addition to his training team, Brian Norman needs to know certain tweaks, better defense. He was lunging a lot, so how to work his way in the range, how to get to the body of his opponent when they're faster than him. Uh, Devin Haney made it so hard for him to even get any type of rhythm going. Um, and it's like that sometimes. You know what I mean? You face a person who is much faster than you, faster hands, faster feet, faster everything. And that's what we got last night with Devin Haney being victorious over Brian Norman Jr. Um, and the fight of the night, in my opinion, was actually um, Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. Sam Noakes, it was already understood how he was very dangerous. He could crack, he could hit, he could take a punch. You know, he was stronger. He was supposed to have more power, be stronger, and all that. But um, young Abdullah Mason out of Ohio, so shout outs to Ohio, the state that we're in right here. Shout outs to Abdullah Mason because he showed he could go in the trenches some. He could brawl some. Um, a part of me was like, oh man, why does he keep fighting mid range or fighting mid range too long? And why is he fighting close range? But I could see that the tactics of Nooks was to try to draw him in, try to once they did clinch, try to punch in the clinch, try to do like little small rough tactics in the inside. A headbutt did happen with them guys that gave a cut on the eye of Noakes. But I like the fact that Abdullah showed no signs of backing down. Like he was right there pretty much to meet him in the center of the ring. He wasn't being bullied. He wasn't being pushed back. He tried to keep the fight to the center of the ring for the most part of that fight. So Abdullah Mason showed he could be resilient. He has a better chin than people thought he did because he took some good punches off of Sam Noakes. Now, I wouldn't recommend that he takes those type of punches consistently like he did in that fight. And even he said after the fight on Seconds Out with Radio Raheem that that Sam Noakes had him fight his fight more than Abdullah fighting the type of fight that he would have normally fought. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure his blueprint prior to the fight was probably different. But he ended up getting into a firefight in a lot of situations in the fight. And I did have some fears when he stepped in the pocket sometimes. I'm like, oh man, I hope he don't get touched up too much. But he showed that 1 second. Um, I guess like is that how we did last time when you sent me a link? Something like that on Messenger, I guess. So I'm looking at that. Mm-hmm.
you got your camera on?
I can see. Hey, you get in my settings and take Bluetooth off of this one. I think it's interference with this one. I just want the Bluetooth to be off. All right. No. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Should I put this in there? Will it? Hello? Yep, I can hear you. Yeah. You doing all right? Cool, man. Yeah, man. So, what'd you think about Benavidez and Yardi last night?
And then I knew how, and I'm like, I wonder how much this ref's gonna let Benavidez do, and then when Yard was holding him and Benavidez was just letting off with the other hand, like 12, 13, 14 consecutive punches, and the ref is letting it go. I'm like, oh, this is a Benavidez ref. This is a ref that you got to punch to get out, literally. So Look, man, I don't know if Yard had. I don't know if Yard drew just a bad hand before for his boxing career, because imagine being told, all right, so your 3 title shots are going to be against Kovalev. Then you got to fight Beater Beef. Then you're going to have to fight Benavidez. Those are going to be your 3 title fights in your
Oh man,
career. Good luck. And
that's crazy.
Kovalev is most like Kovalev is 3-time light heavyweight champion of the world. We know what he was about. Wrecking Machine, Beater Beef, and right now Wrecking Machine Benavidez. It's almost the only other person I could think of with like, damn, those are your title shots, is Lubin, Charlo, Fundora, and Ortiz. Those your title shots? You know what, dog? It's okay. I feel you. You ain't. I understand why you ain't win all of them. Motivated Charlo? Damn. Yeah. That's tough. And sometimes fighters just get a bad draw like that. You know, some fighters, and if you look throughout history before the multi-belt era, some guy, even when it was just 1 or 2 belts, some guys they would get 2, 3, 4 title shots. They just couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah, man. So like, what you feel about the Haney and Brian Norman Jr.?
Round 1, I'm like, okay, the fight's gonna go like this. This is okay. You know what I'm saying? This is okay. Then the knockdown happened. Now, here's 2 key takeaways after the fight was over. One, Haney doesn't know how to properly finish anybody off. Because Norman was right there, hurt, trying to recover. But Haney just, I think Haney was surprised. You know what I'm saying? I think Haney was surprised
Right.
that he knocked him down. And not only knocked him
Mm-hmm.
down, but hurt him. Because Haney was trying for the stoppage. But like I said, Haney's going for his first stoppage in 7 years. I'm like, oh Lord. It's been a minute. So I'm like, he might not even know how to stop somebody. Even if he get him hurt, you don't know how to break tie in. You got to go to the body first. You got to measure them out. You know what I'm saying? You don't just go up in there throwing punches. You know what I'm saying? Unless they really hurt. And Norman was hurt, but he wasn't out on his feet hurt. That's a difference. And then I will say this. Norman was hurt rounds 2 and round 3. He didn't really get his feet under him until round 4. But by that point, you're 3 points down. You know what I'm saying? We're going into round 4, and round 1 could have gone either way. But you're down 2-1. Let's say Norman won round 1. After round 2, you're down 2-1. After round 3, now you're down 3-1. Going into round 4, you're down 3-1. At worst, you're down 4-0. So I think at that point, when he recovered, he was playing keep up. And you can't play keep up with a track star like Haney. He'll pick and pop and poke you all night long. And that's pretty much what happened. If Norman hadn't have got knocked down and hurt, the fight would have been like a real chess match, pretty much. A guy trying to keep the fight mid-range and get inside, while one fighter is trying to keep it at a manageable mid-range and mainly stay on the outside. But with Norman hurt, when he finally recovered, he was just playing keep up at that point. At that point he was just trying to catch Haney, and
Yeah.
Haney knew that. And you're not going to catch Haney if he knows that's all you're going to be trying to do. Once Norman made himself one-dimensional, Norman made himself
Facts.
beatable after the
Yep.
knockdown. And
Yep.
people will say whatever they want to say. You know, Haney's level. It wasn't a level thing. I don't even like that term, levels above, because sometimes you don't know how good somebody is until you fight them. You know what I'm saying? But that was just a situation of Norman made himself beatable after he got knocked down, because listening to his dad and also realizing, being embarrassed, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't talk, he talked a lot. And then for you to be the first one to get knocked down like that, and not even a flash. Like you actually had to take some time to get up. So it was. I'm happy for Haney. I'm happy for Haney. He's officially the number one welterweight in the division because they had Norman, number one welterweight in the division. The division's, I ain't gonna say it's inactive. You know what I'm saying? Because we've had a title change happen. We've had title elevations. You know, I just think, is the division wide open? Yes. I just think everyone. This is a unpredictable division because everybody's pretty much beatable and there are a lot of shuffling cards. And I do think Haney stays here. I don't think he moves up.
Do you think Rolly will want to come up to? Is he at 147 yet?
Rolly's the WBA champion at 147.
So you think he would? How you think that will go?
He's fighting Manny. He's fighting Manny next year.
Okay, that Manny Pacquiao. Okay.
Yeah, because Ryan and Barrios are locking in a deal for next year.
I did see Ryan signing paperwork. I think on IG.
Yeah, Ryan and Barrios are locking that down, and then Rolly and Manny are fighting sometime next year. They just got to make the announcement, and then and now Lewis Crocker is probably going to have to fight Shakram Giyasov, he's actually Shakram Giyasov is a mandatory for the WBA and the IBF. So he's going to be looking in to get that. And then Haney has options because he has Catterall. And then he has the winner of Stevenson Lopez because the WBO has a clause where the champion at a lower weight class can vacate and fight their next and challenge the champion in their next fight.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good one too.
So he has options.
What do you think about T.O. and Shakur Stevenson?
Shakur wins because Teofimo can't cut off the ring, and he can only be Roy Jones Jr. against immobile opponents.
Okay. So
like
the movement of
when he fought Nakatani, when he fought Junto's older brother. You know, Junto Nakatani has an older brother who fought at lightweight. He's retired now. He was a gatekeeper, but Nakatani gave Teofimo Lopez fits. He even said it, man. That's guy big, long, can box. He got pop, you know. And then when he fought Jermaine Ortiz, a lot of people thought Jermaine won that fight, you know, because Jermaine boxed him. And then look at Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin got knockdowns and outboxed Teofimo and still got the loss. You know, and in my opinion, Teofimo doesn't know how to cut off the ring. And it's not even a can't. He doesn't know how. He just wasn't taught that. And he's a Golden Glove. He's an Olympian. You know, it's not like he has no excuses not to know how to do it.
Right.
So Shakur, and if he had problems with a Jermaine Ortiz and a Sandor Martin, Shakur is a hyper Sandor Martin. He's a Sandor Martin cyber edition, digital edition. You know what I'm saying? So he's not like Shakur knows I'm just gonna make him have his radar on all night. He's gonna have to find me. And he's gonna have a hard time all night. And I know why Teofimo is asking for the bag, because he admits after he fought Jermaine, after he fought Sandor, he admitted not fighting guys like that because they're not trying to make the fight quote unquote exciting for the fans. Hindsight, I don't know how to cut off the ring on boxers.
On boxers,
that's right, what that really means.
Yeah, he knows his shortcomings.
That's why against Josh Taylor, I'm like, that's a very winnable fight for him. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, it's 50-50. I'm all like, not really, because Josh don't move. And to be honest, Josh Taylor always let fights get close. And the only real reason he would win fights was because of knockdowns. Like literally without knockdowns, a lot of his wins would be draws or losses. Because a lot of his wins had one or two knockdowns in it that separate, and that's what really separated the fights for him at the championship level. Taylor's power at 140 made him world class at 140, nothing else. Because when he fought Jose Ramirez, the whole fight was 50-50. if you take away the knockdowns, the fight's a draw. So, I just see fights. I just see boxing like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Now, as far as Tafime, I'm gonna send you a link later on in the group chat. He did an interview with somebody. Um, but I'm gonna find it on YouTube because I know he did a couple of interviews. But he pretty much said that the style of Shakur Stevenson is not going to give him issues, and that he has pretty much the the blueprint to unlock to be able to beat Shakur Stevenson.
I think
And
what
of
he's
course,
thinking is Shakur doesn't have the power to bother him. So I think he's thinking about, I don't mind dealing with a jab to get my hooks off.
right.
But Shakur has an educated jab. He has a jab. He doesn't just have a jab, he has different types of jabs. Like, Shakur is one of the only well-schooled boxers. And George Foreman said it best, God rest his soul. Boxing is like jazz. The better it is, the more boring the public sees it as.
Okay. Wow, George Foreman said a mouthful with that. So
I think Mason Noakes might be fight of the year.
that's what I'm thinking, man. That definitely was the performance that cut the cake because there was a lot of
That's,
questions going into the
yeah,
fight
even me. You
to
know me,
the
I'm critical of
to
anointed
the
fighters.
because Sam, not Sam, but Mason, can he take a punch? Can he
Yeah,
recover?
you
Is he
know,
gonna
you
get
know me,
hurt?
I'm critical of,
So
yeah, I'm critical of anointed fighters. That's just me. I kind of
mhm.
always been that way, even when I was competing. I just didn't like it. When people are like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be the next best thing" and stuff like that. Like, we don't know. He could something could happen. He,
Right.
he could have to face me. When I was in kickboxing, that was my whole thing. Like, you never know. There's always somebody better. There's always there's,
Man,
there's
yeah.
always if you're a monster, there's always another monster looking at you like food. That's what I was taught in the
Mhm.
combat sports world. No matter, like, literally, that's what my teacher taught me, and other instructors as well. They say, "Why do you have the mindset that you have when entering sparring?" I said, "Because this could be a potential monster that sees me as kibbles and bits. As much as I have my ego inflated,
Right.
this guy may have studied me. He may have been looking at me for months, for weeks, months, waiting for his moment. He may see I got him now, and it's an obsessive thinking, pretty much, to think that any fighter that I go up against can have my number.
Right. But I mean,
And
now
no,
that you say that, that's kind of like what happened with AJ and Andy Ruiz. He didn't know the true threat that Ruiz could be. AJ
well,
didn't
no,
know a whole
because
lot about Ruiz.
AJ isn't a boxing student. I realized that in interviews. That's the thing about when I watch a lot of interviews and documentaries, and come to
Mm.
find out, AJ's not a boxing fan really, or a boxing student. Think about it. You don't see AJ at big fights. Like, when they pan around and show, look at who's here, folks. You see Tank, you see Haney, you see Shakur, you see Tiafimo. Who else be at fights? You see
Even Conor
um
Ben
Connor
goes to a
Benby at
couple.
big
Yeah.
fights across the way. You see Danny, Iris Landy Lara shows up for fights. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, um
Tyson Fury sometimes.
Tyson Fury will show up for fights. You never see AJ. I always said, why you never see one, like, literally for a long time he was considered consensus the heavyweight champion of the world, the number one heavyweight in the world, and you never see him at big fights. So he's not a fan and he's not a student, because I remember when he was with Ben Davidson was trying to teach him about the shoulder roll. And he said, like, Floyd, and he said the shoulder roll is older, it's so old. He said, you ever heard of Archie Moore? who? Archie Moore has 132 knockouts. And he's like, oh my God. He's all like, I've never heard of this guy before. You know, like he was a lineal light heavyweight champion of the world. Like, lineal, what is that? He literally didn't know what these things are. And he was at this, and this wasn't like he was coming up. He was the heavyweight champion. He was a unified heavyweight champion at this time. He had no idea what lineal was, no idea who Archie Moore was, no idea that the shoulder roll predates, goes all the way back to George Benton in the 50s and 60s. And even before that, to guys like Kid Chocolate, and the great Joe Gans, who is actually related to Tevin Farmer, believe it or not.
Man,
yeah,
Tevin back. Okay.
But let me tell you something. I go deep. You know, you'd be surprised. Like, I didn't know Zab Judah's great uncle was Johnny Sexton, the 2-time welterweight champion in the 60s. Literally the mob era. And I did some research, and Johnny Sexton was a mob-controlled fighter. Like, there's literally newspaper articles of people calling his fight with Kid Chocolate a fix. They're like, Kid Chocolate was not trying to engage in the way that he normally does. No angles, no footwork, no pep in his step. They say it was almost like he was told the jig is up. Like, it's crazy how even back then, like, the media knew that there were fixes, and yet they still covered it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you'd be surprised, you know, how deep boxing goes with people, especially in like families and stuff like that. But yeah, AJ's not a savant, so he didn't do any studying whatsoever. He should have known that, yeah, Andy Ruiz literally went tooth and nail with Joseph Parker for the heavyweight championship. And if that fight was anywhere but New Zealand, Andy would have won that fight. Literally, Andy won that fight, but because it was in New Zealand, it was a close fight. Of course, they're going to give it
Parker,
to Joseph.
Get the nod. Yeah.
Go back and watch that fight. It was a majority win, and I'm thinking Andy won this.
Man,
like Andy won 7-5, but you know,
good fight.
But yeah, like that the problem AJ lost that fight because people don't like when I say this, but he knocked his downfall was his success, or his success was his downfall, however you want to put it, because he knocked Andy down with a left hook, not realizing that's Andy's money punch. So when Andy got up, Andy's thinking, oh, I just got to wait for him to do this again, and I'll just time it. Because AJ's not a hooker. He's a straight punch guy or an uppercut. His money punch is his uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Hooks aren't his thing. So the fact that he knocked Andy down with Andy's money punch, Andy's just thinking, oh, I just need him to do this again, and I'll just catch him. And that's what happened. A couple rounds later, what happened? 1, 2, 3. They traded hooks. They traded hooks, and Andy just made sure to get inside more. And that's easy. Andy was knocking. I've seen Andy knock down heavyweight, the MMA heavyweight top 10 fighter of the world when he was like 16, 17 years old with a 1, 2, 3.
All right, let me read a couple of chats real quick.
Yeah.
Connor, you said great performance by Mason. He's a great talent. I was thinking maybe they should make Mason against Keyshawn Davis.
That's supposed to be next, apparently. That's no. Keyshawn's at 140 now. He moved up.
That's right.
Keyshawn's at 140. Keyshawn's trying to fight
with Frank Martin at 140 now.
With Martin, Puello, Matias. Sadly, Matias got popped for PEDs this week.
PEDs, yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, he got 10 days. Well, now he got 5 days to put in his B sample, or he might. I don't know if he'll get stripped. You know, WBC be funny like that. You know, they didn't even. Another guy got popped this year. Francisco Rodriguez, he got popped, and they didn't even strip him.
Hey, help me read this comment. Roger said, he said, damn, AJ catching heat, and put the laughing emoji. Now, to you, Connor, I'm going to tell you this. I'm an AJ fan, but I want everybody to hear this. No one gets a pass. Everybody gets called out on whatever it is. I ain't going to hold your hand just because I'm a fan. and try to make some type of narrative that or excuse. Hey man, AJ ain't the perfect fighter. You know what
What
I'm
did the
saying?
late great Bernie
He
Mac
has his
say?
flaws.
What did Bernie Mac say? Call it like a Ti is.
Mm-hmm. Got to, man. Got to. Conor Rogers said that's a fact. Andy Ruiz should have been WBO champ.
And now, sadly, his success has destroyed his career.
Yeah, he's been out the ring. He's been too inconsistent. You know, I
It's
like
the
Ruiz,
injury.
man.
Because what happens is he end up in the Keith Thurman situation. But Keith Thurman, like what happens is you're inactive. You get in the training camp, you get hurt, you fight, you get hurt more. Now you have to recover double before you can start your next training camp. And then you're jumping right back into a full camp. And with Andy, he's not a gym rat. He lets himself go too much.
Absolutely,
It's not a
man.
problem with being a big guy at heavyweight. The problem comes in when you don't consistently maintain your body. Like Jarrell, like
Big
Big
Baby
Baby
Miller.
Miller and
Yeah.
and
Martin
Bacoli,
McCauley.
yeah, they're
Yeah, they
big
all like
guys,
that.
but you can tell they don't let themselves go. They know
Mm-hmm.
what size they need to be optimum. You know what I'm saying? I said the moment you see Bacoli lose his head speed, that's how you know he's just too big. Because
Yep.
his world classness is his hand speed and his chin. Because I
Yeah.
always say this:
Yeah. He got a good chin for sure.
a knockout from the temple is not the same as a knockout from the chin. An
Got it,
equilibrium
man.
shot is not the same as
Mm-hmm.
having your lights just out.
Yep.
It's different.
Yep.
When
Yep.
Parker beat him, it was an equilibrium shot, not a bam gone. You know, it
Yeah,
wasn't
it
a
wasn't
light
down
switch
here
knockout.
on the chin line, jaw line.
Nah,
That's just like when
the
AJ got clipped by Ruiz. It was kind of
on the
like
top, yeah, on the
that
temple,
temple. Yeah.
and I've been hit like that before. When that happens, the whole room is spinning. You know what I'm saying? Literally, the entire room is spinning. Like you're drunk. Like when you get drunk and you lay down and the ceiling's still moving. That's what's literally happening. And your legs don't. The wiring of your brain isn't operating. It's like you're operating on lag. Like when you try to make a step, you're not taking it till like a second later to when you want it to. So that's how you're moving funny. You know what I'm saying? So it does, and depending on how you are, depends on a lot of different things on if you can recover properly. And with AJ, him being so muscle bound, water retention isn't so good. So brain wasn't able to, a whole bunch of things like that's why they say muscles, big bound muscles aren't always that good in boxing.
Absolutely. Shout outs to Alex Alberto. You said if Benavidez fights Zerto, he has to see Apataya. Also, RIP Veins. How do you pronounce that last name? Um, Scobie, the guy that
Oh
passed
yeah,
away.
Vinus Mart. Oh yeah, R.I.P. to Vinus Martirosyan, former 3-time title challenger.
Okay.
He also had a gauntlet of title fights. His first one was motivated prime Boo Boo Andre. That's his first title shot. Second title
Okay.
shot
Okay.
is Iris Landy Lara. That's his second title shot. And then his third title shot is I think he was on 1 month notice. 1 month notice, you gotta fight Prime Triple G, buddy. Those were his three title shots. It's like another guy who had a gauntlet, and also another really good
Yeah.
guy. He did a lot of community. He did community service work. He did stuff for he trained kids and stuff like that. You know, he was big into exploring outdoorsy stuff. I followed him mainly. I became a fan of his when he retired because he became very active on social media. Just a really good, down to earth guy. You know, sad that he passed away. Didn't even know he was having issues like that.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna check him out. I'm not real privy to him, but I'm gonna definitely check him out because you
Yeah,
said
he was an Olympian.
okay.
Like I think by the time he fought Boo Boo, he was like the universal number one number one contender. He was number one contender for the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF. He was like 31 or 32-0 by the time he got a title shot. He was one of those guys that was like, no one really wanted to fight him when he was coming up. Like, no champion didn't want to give him a shot. So he really had to wait out until all the belts went vacant.
Okay.
So like when the
Definitely
first
got to
belt
do
went
some digging.
vacant, so when the first belt went vacant, he took it, and you got Boo Boo, and they were familiar with each other in the amateurs, and it was a really good fight, and he knocked down Boo Boo in like round 2, but then it was like after that, Boo Boo just said, "Oh, okay, bet," and then Boo Boo pretty much outlanded Vonis like 5-1 for the next 10 rounds.
For sure. Well, bro, we're gonna be on here. We're gonna kick it a little bit longer. There's 3 more matches I want to talk about.
Yeah. What's up?
I want to talk about, speaking of 140, Frank Martin and Rancis Bartholomew. What do you think
I
about
mean,
that?
Rance is coming off of back-to-back losses. He's coming in to just give Frank a soft touch before he moves up. Because Hansis is tough. Hansis is gonna give you a fight. His last two big fights were Gary Antoine Russell, who he gave a really good tough showing, and then he
That was a
fought
controversial stoppage.
and then he
Yeah.
fought Jose Ramirez. And to be honest, if Hansis wasn't 40 something, he would have beat Jose. Because he could not miss with the left hand. Literally, he just could not miss. And it was one of those funny things where it's like, he can't miss with the left hand and he won't stop throwing it. So I think Frank should get through Hansis. I wouldn't be surprised for an upset. I wouldn't be surprised if like Hansis has like a shock of life in this fight, or what he does bring to the table just so happens to stun Frank. Because here's the thing, Hansis has been active, Frank has not.
T Hill, salute to your brother. Thanks for pulling up. All right, so the second fight is Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Rose Jr. What do you think about
I
that?
don't know. I don't know.
Can't really call it.
It's an unknown fight to me. And not because like I don't know, it's an unknown fight because to think of someone that won, Pitbull isn't that big, okay? So I can get the fight at 140 because Pitbull in general isn't that big of a 140 pounder. So it makes sense why Lamont would say yes to Pitbull. But we know how Pitbull gets down, and
Absolutely.
Pitbull's there, and Pitbull is, I don't know, bro. Pitbull should come into Tupac and Snoop Dogg. It's a gangster party because what time he's on when he
Yeah,
show up.
for
Ain't
sure.
nothing but a gangster party. So it's like, and we know Roach is down to get down, but
Right?
you don't want to get down. It's like, I mean, you did get down with Tank, and it's like, are you going to
Right.
get down with Pitbull too?
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I don't know, dog. It could go either way. That's a 50-50 fight. It could really go either way. I wouldn't be surprised seeing Pitbull get the win or if Roach gets the win, because I'm interested in what the odds are. Because who can you make the favorite really? Because they're both there to get hit.
They're both there to get hit. They both could take a shot.
You don't need a radar to find either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Roach fights square, Pitbull fights with the Tyson aesthetic, bob and weave style. So
Yep.
it's I
Tucked
mean
in. Chin tucked in.
that might be fight of the year too, depending on how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty explosive. What you think, T Hill? Connor Rogers, Pitbull versus Roach Jr. and also T Hill, Bartholomew versus Frank Martin. All right. Now the last one I'm looking forward to as well is our. We just spoke about anointing certain fighters. Moses and Tuma versus Jermaine Franklin.
I'll entertain this because you my dog. It's a comparison show. White fought Franklin, AJ fought Franklin. So now it's, I guess, Atuma's time to fight Franklin. But here's the thing, Franklin went the distance with those guys and gave both of those guys problems all night. Franklin's there to fight. Franklin is coming off of a lackluster showing in his last fight, but I think this is going to be a very motivated Franklin.
Yeah, I think he's going to be motivated. He could take a shot. He's cagey.
I need rounds. Like, I need them. Like, I need them. Like, I need them from Atuma like I need air to breathe. Because I can't talk about this guy without seeing rounds. And damn you, Dillian White, for making me wait longer. Because most people should be like, well, that should give you everything you need to know. No, it's like, no, 90
seconds. So, like, do you think the southpaw stance is going to trouble Franklin?
I think the fight gets easier for Franklin the longer it goes. I think he has to worry about a storm for like the first 3 rounds. And then after that, the fight should become easier. If not, then Atuma got a gas tank. If Atuma has a gas tank, we got a problem. Like, if Atuma can do all this for if Atuma can do all this for 7 rounds, we got a problem.
It's going to be interesting.
At least, if he can do that for at least 7 rounds, it'll be very interesting. Because then we have a problem. We have a guy with speed, power, coordination, footwork,
youth,
and a gas tank. And then if he can go to 12, he's going to take some shots. So then he's going to show that he can. That's going to be a problem. A guy with all of that working with him and the low center of gravity, because he's like 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot. Like, he's got to be the shortest top 5 heavyweight right now. A top 10 heavyweight.
You talking about Moses Atuma?
Yeah, he's got to be the shortest top 10 heavyweight in boxing right now. Has to be. He's like cruiserweight size fighting at heavyweight.
Now, they could be off, but they're claiming he's 6'4".
What did he look like next to White? Because White is a real 6'4", 6'5". Because White's like nose to nose with AJ, and AJ's a real 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, let me see.
Because Dominic Brazil's like 6'5", 6'6".
Let's see what Jermaine Franklin's height is.
He's supposed to be 6'2", 6'3".
6'2"?
He's supposed to be like 6'2", 6'3", Jermaine Franklin. He's a solid size for a heavyweight.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at that he's about again.
It's
they lie about their height sometimes.
Man, what? Oh, before we switch up, you get off. The fact that Joseph Parker, it's hard to say this, but you were number 1 contender. You said, I'll fight White. Fuck it. Lose to White. Work your way up for 2-3 years. Become number 1 contender again. Interim WBO champion. I'll fight Joe Joyce. Fuck it. Get obliterated. Literally wiped off the map. You making them. This comeback was dope, though. This last comeback over the last 2-3 years. Great. You get back the belt you lost. The same belt you lost. You get it back. Beat the guy that beat you. And then, how about Fabio Wardley? You know, he's undefeated. tanking through everybody, literally finding the will through the bowels of the deep. You know what I'm saying? This dude got a Arturo Gotti well here. Like, just when you think he got nothing left, pow! Worley wins it. Like, literally. Like,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's
man.
a close one, folks. Pow! He's off on his feet. Worley might win it. Literally. That's how his last, like, 3-4 fights have gone. And then you say, yeah, fuck it. I'll fight Worley. And then it's almost like to spit in your face. Here you go. Here's some trinkets from Usyk. I don't even want this belt no more. Worley,
Right.
you're the champ now. Bruh, what? I'd be pissing hot if I was Parker right now.
Yeah.
I'd be so mad. I'd be my whole living room would be toe up. If I saw that, Worley's been elevated. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I defended that belt. I defended that interim title multiple times. And y'all just elevate him off what? I'd be pissed. I'd be so mad.
Yeah, man. Right place at the right time. It's like getting his lunch packed for him, nice and neat, and hand it right to him.
And I hear Caballero is going to win the sweepstakes because he's willing to fight Usyk in the Eastern Bloc.
Oh, okay.
Well, Caballero's from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Germany, so that's not that trek's not far. And Germans travel in Europe. Germans are like the Mexicans of European boxing. You do not go to Germany if you're an away fighter. You will get robbed. Look it up. I don't care. Literally look up fight like champions from Germany fighting in their home country. There are a lot of close fights. Or, just blatant robbery, just straight up blatant. You do not go to Germany as an away. You're literally an away fighter. Literally, like you are an away person. You are not home. They make you feel it. Like oh man, so many careers hurt from Germany because they went to Germany. But yeah, I think Caballero's gonna win the sweepstakes because he's gonna, hey, I'll fight you in the Eastern Bloc so you can be close to home.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. So get ready to close
and
out.
I think Apatai and Benavidez is big picture next year.
Yeah, man, for sure. So some good things to look forward to. If I don't hop on midweek, I'll definitely be on again next Sunday. So thanks for stopping through, man. Always.
Yeah, man, you take care of yourself.
When you pull up, man.
Thank you for having me. It's always a blessing.
Always, man. Always. Shout out to T Hill again. I appreciate you coming through. Connor Rogers, you finally made it. Thank you again. Alex Arbato. And please, guys, before you close out everything, hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate y'all. And you too, Dan Scobie, man. You have a good one. And I'm going to send that link to you tonight. All right, y'all. Wrapping up another episode here at Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. In the description area, you will see we have the merch and different things like that. And we have where you can make donations right over there, the Venmo, and just help to support the channel. We appreciate any and everything, whatever's on your heart. So have a good night, and I will see you on the next episode, and I'll catch you on the next round. Peace.